tapping and things like that, but with no real major results.
Right.
So she's curious to follow through, even though it's kind of an age or religious standpoint. So.
When people are hurting, or their kids are
Yeah.
hurting, they'll suspend.
Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head I should be aware of in terms of his age level?
No, when they're 12 years old, you can talk to them pretty much as an adult. I might ask them about what they really enjoy doing, some things like that. And if you can integrate that into the induction,
Get some rapport with
it
rapport.
would, yeah.
Right.
You'd really want to make sure you get a rapport with the kid. And that's, I find personally, it's pretty easy to do. And just because you like the kid, it's easy to establish a rapport with somebody else. But as an example, when he was about the same age, my son Sutphen was getting in trouble at school. He stick other kids' head in the toilet and flush the toilet, and the school was very upset about that.
Everybody got flushed.
Oh, God. And so I, worked with him with hypnosis, and he loved to go out into the gold mines around Prescott, Arizona. It's a gold mining area. And so he and I would have a lot of fun, but we'd go up into that country, and you'd find the tails, the shavings of the old iron pyrite. And he just always thought, boy, I got gold, and he loved it. And so I integrated that, because most of the mines, before you even started down the mine, you go down and say, all right, I'm going down to the mine now. Going down they go. I'll imagine it, see it. And since he loved doing it, so we were going down. Number 7, you're going down now, down. Get to that. So if you can find out something they like doing, love doing bike riding, well, really going down the hill as you ride the bike.
Because our strategy so far is we're going to meet up either next week or the week after, and I'm going to meet with his mom and him. We're going to just hang out.
Good,
So
good.
we get to know him, because he has this anxiety thing with people and new things. So thought we'd try that, and then take the next stage, which is maybe not take him right into it, but just do a deep relaxation body scan and leave it at that.
Yeah,
Unless he's all right, we'll just keep going. But
yeah.
I told her we could do it, we could stop any point along the journey, and she was cool with that. So.
Good,
Are you
good
planning
deal.
on clinical or
Well, I was gonna do back to cause.
Yeah,
Because she's not happy
ideally.
with the past life, but if he slips into it, what am I gonna do? And I told her it's gonna be completely recorded, and.
Sure, and is the mom gonna be there or not?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you, and we had talked about it, and I said, I'm sure it's possible I'd have you there. He may deliver more information if he trusts me enough to be with me on my own, but you will be able to hear the tape kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be better, but if you think that I really should have the mom there.
I try to get the moms, I try to get the husband, the mom, whoever there, get them out.
Okay.
Because it could have to do with them.
I wondered
A
about
high
that. She started
probability.
telling me,
I had a case
what's going
Thursday.
on at home.
And the mother on Thursday, my client was a 26-year-old girl, and she was paying for it herself. And yet her mom came with her. Her mom set up the appointment. And this was just, Thursday. And, no, Wednesday, must have been Wednesday. And the other case was Tuesday. Anyway, the girl was probably the best damn client I had worked with in years. I mean, she went so deep and could perceive so good. But I didn't know that at the time. And the mother had said to her, I'm going to be in that session with you. And if not, I'm going to do the session and find out for myself what this is all about. And so the girl had asked her mom not to be in the room during the pre-interview session. And so I worked with, and we had an instant rapport, the client and I. I mean, she was just a sweetheart. But she said, my mom gets involved in anything, I just go into a frenzy. And that's my issue, And so, and I mean, that was the big thing, is between the two of them, and they came from South Africa. She's going to school in San Diego, going to be a doctor. But the mother has come over from South Africa to be with her and on top of her and oversee. And I just talked to the mother and said, it's not going to work. Your daughter is not going to be able to receive if you're here. And so you guys are going to spend money and you've driven up from San Diego. Whatever you do, but I'm going to go pee, and while I am, you just have a talk about it, but I hope you decide, to not be here. And she did.
Right. Because it sounds like, based on what the mother's already told, now mind you, it's one-sided story, but what the mother's told me about the scenario that goes on at home, the kid has most of his reactions when dad's around.
Okay.
So.
They really don't want dad.
I'm starting to wonder if it might have some sort of parental affiliation. He also has attention deficit. He's diagnosed with it. So is there anything specific for that was helpful?
Well, that's probably the worst thing you can have for a good subject for hypnosis.
Did you do this thing with them?
Oh, I try swing and sway, yeah. Chances are you're not going to get him real deep, Kathleen.
Okay.
The program that I have on my laptop does have an ADD, like a background. It's the different brain levels, so if you want, you can record something that could...
Well, I'd be worth it to try that.
What does ACD do?
Well, it's just background, so like the mind converter, how it takes you down
So
to
it's
data.
especially for
It's
ADD?
especially for ADD.
Oh, because I need that.
Interesting.
I had a dad come to me about his 10-year-old kid who has
Right.
ADD. But first, we had to work on him. And he's a very difficult subject because he's so logical. So it was very hard to take him deep. And he had a thought form. So we had to release the thought form first because the thought form didn't let him do anything.
Right.
But aside of that, from that, he also has his logic going into everything. So, I had to tell him that his logic is like a cube, and asked him to take him out of his body and put it on the table. Yeah, and he
Oh,
did that.
that's neat. That's neat. That's very creative,
It just came to me.
Yeah.
And he did it and got a bit better, but not much better. So
Yeah.
he'll be back. But what I told him was that I wasn't sure if it's good for a 10-year-old to take him back into a past life. What if he sees something that scares him? But what's your opinion? You're saying that it's okay?
I'm saying it's okay,
Uh-huh.
but you be the judge.
He was concerned about it too. He was
Yeah.
afraid that the kid would be scared. if he
Well,
saw
a 10-year-old is used to usually going to R-rated movies, so if that, I don't see it being a big issue.
something. No, okay.
Um,
But ADD
But-
kids are difficult to take down.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, because what we need is somebody who can focus.
So both
And-
the dad and the kid are bad subjects?
Probably, they're not, but I wouldn't give up.
No,
No,
it's
No, but I would use mind electronics very heavily. Sometimes I will leave the room. I say, I want you to just listen to the sound. Lay back, try to blank your mind, don't try. And just listen to the sound. And if your mind wanders, come back on track and listen to the sound, and I'll be back and I'll begin to count you down. Well, when that happens, and they maybe spend 10 minutes, they're already deeply hypnotized, yeah. But that works with the mind converter primarily.
Yeah, well, that's what I put on.
Yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course, I didn't let it on by itself.
Yeah. Well, it's just a way to get that extra time in there. And then I would always do a couple to 3, number 7, deeper, 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 down, 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 down. So 7 to 1, at least twice and maybe 3 times.
Oh, I did it twice.
And what I would do is I would, after you've done that, say the first time, they have listened to the sound, you've relaxed their body, you're counting them down, and balancing the chakras is really good in there. Boy, balance the chakras. So then, I will say, I want you now to scan your body, head to toe. And I want you to see if there's any tension in your body, and if so, I can remove it. But go ahead now, scan your body head to toe, and then speak up and tell me when you find any tension spots.
Did you do that before after the chakras, before the tunnel?
After the chakras. Yeah, before the tunnel, after the
And
chakras.
before the climbing down?
Yeah, it's as part, well, maybe they have climbed down, maybe we've just done the chakras. It's a technique I will use to make sure somebody hasn't fallen asleep. Now, I'm watching them, and I'm wondering, oh my God, have they fallen asleep? Especially if with a late afternoon client, somebody reaches that 3 or 4 in the afternoon time, they kind of let it go and logging down. 3 or 4, well,
I had a
not in Greece, you eat supper at 10, so.
I had a 9 p.m., the client who came at 9 p.m., we finished at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I had one like that the other night, so that client was from Mexico, and man, by the time we got everything together, we didn't start until 8:30, so that was the beginning of the 4 hours, and we went over, and that was when Terry and I were working together. So, anyway, do the thing where they're looking at their body and say, if they come back like, yeah, I said there's something wrong with my neck back here, and they're not down very deep, and you're going to have to deepen and deepen. But when they come back and say, my neck is a little stiff, and they're already mostly there. So you go in and remove it, tell them you're sending the God light into their neck. It's coming down through the chakra centers, and it's now every cell and every atom. The God light is permeating every cell, every atom. And you're just letting go, and as you do, you feel more and more natural and normal. Natural and normal. And so, and don't tell them it's all fixed right now. Say, over the next 5 minutes, you will feel more relaxed and more at ease, and within 5 minutes' time, your neck will feel natural and normal. And that way, they've forgotten about it by the time 5 minutes go on, and they're deeper anyway. So don't say, your neck's now fine, and they may say, well, hell it is, it still hurts. And so stall it off as you keep deepening and doing what you need to do.
So you do this to make sure they're not asleep on one hand, and on the other hand, that they're relaxing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they're still snapping back at you with, my neck is just hurt, well then, the ADD is kicked in and they're not letting go.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use it to keep judging them without saying, I'm going to judge you. Because you can tell so much from voice tone.
Because this is what Bill does to detect the spirits. And this is what I do too, but not after the
How does
chakras.
that detect spirits?
Oh, because the spirits are in the astral body at some place. I mean, one
So
girl
when they
felt.
scan their body, then
Yeah.
they pick them up?
Yes.
And how do they, do you asking them to look
Yeah.
at that?
Yeah, at some point, but not at
You
the chakras.
pull them out. They seldom will resist if you say, who's in there? Are you in there? Anybody in there, I want you to speak up. And they will.
I do that once they're in spirit, not before.
Yeah, ideally I get them down deep too before I'm asking that. I get them real deep,
But
as a matter of fact.
And this is only to detect the spirits that are on their body, because they could have spirits far, but still affecting them. So it just takes care of one part.
Like in the girl I was talking about that I was working with this week, you could do something to bring them out. If you do something purposely that will antagonize them, they'll come right out real fast. And so I said, well, let's project forward and see you in a nice relationship in the future. Now just move forward, yeah. And so we didn't even get there. and she was just starting to, oh yeah, we're getting, and then there's, and it's coming back out again. So at first I didn't think it was gonna come out with Tara there. It didn't want to surface. When she walked into the room, then I had my client back again, just totally. But, you know, we were able to bring it out, and then, you know, her eyes went wide, and she started working with her, and then she threatened her. So, I'll get you, you know, da. So, and she came back in the night to try to do that. That is just, ooh.
Well, they brought me roaches.
They brought you roaches?
Yeah, I've had them for 5 months, they won't go away. I've tried everything. All bug sprays on the market. I had a priest come in to bless my home. I used blessed water from the Vatican. Nothing.
Is everybody now rethinking becoming aggressive? And you know, the clinical hypnotists, they don't understand a bit of this. They would be just going, you guys are out of your fucking minds. I mean, really. I mean, these good old boy networks of hypnotists, they look at me and think I am a lunatic. And they really think that. So at the NGH, you know, I mean, I walk by some of these guys in the hall and they just,
They won't make eye contact.
no, they don't even want to make eye contact with me. So, you
I
know,
got the roaches to prove it.
you're on the fringe here.
So what about crystals?
A few months ago, I had a lady to come in, and she walks in like this.
I don't know how to use them.
Yeah?
She has nothing left to normally like this. She's run from one doctor to the other, psychiatrist and this and that and the other. So I took them on. And maybe I don't have enough expertise yet, but I signed her up for 5 sessions, and I did courage and energy on her a few times. I took her down in the past life. And when I got through, it wasn't very successful. And they both jumped on me. No damn past lives. And, feet first. And now how would you handle a case like that?
Well, you just have to respect the clients.
Yeah,
I mean,
respect.
the girl I'm talking about that I'm dealing with right now, she's just got incredible pain and migraines every week. Migraines that last for days, but no past lives. And so I can't say, well, I'm going to take you there anyway, you know.
Well, I did take her without really talking to her first. I just decided to throw her through the tunnel and go.
Yeah.
And they both jumped on me. And but
Yeah.
also, now I guess that was my number one mistake.
Yeah.
Freedom here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing sometimes.
Well, you're learning fast. You may learn all sorts of brand new things because you don't have the model, you know, necessarily. I didn't have anybody to go by initially, and so I developed techniques that are totally unique to anybody else. They say, what are you talking about, Richard? I said, try it, it'll work.
But I got over $1,000, $1,200, or $1,500 worth of books, tapes from you.
Yeah, I know, you bought,
from
you've been, you know, you've caused my kids to be able to have peanut butter.
And I got to tell you about an experience I had last week with one of your tapes. I went to Atlantis.
Cool.
I went to Lemuria and Atlanta.
Yeah, well, I didn't go, Lamore, I didn't do nothing. It was just dead.
We're going to talk about all of that, Atlantis and Lemurian here, and then I'll do a session.
Well, anyhow.
Because
I went
it's
to
important.
Atlantis, and the 4 deals that Edward Casey did on Atlantis, they were there. But I
Okay.
added something. They had direct communication and interacting with ETs.
I'm not surprised, yeah.
I added that to the
Yeah.
4 things that Edward Casey said about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Underwater
yeah. Yeah.
Well, Casey was only talking in terms of the last 25,000 years, too. Atlantis lasted for 100,000 years.
Did it last that long?
And 25,000 is the period of time that Casey talked in terms of.
Oh, okay.
So, and I've had that ET thing too in my book, so, Earthly Purpose.
Yeah, very, very. And now, remember, I'm not visual.
Mhm.
Telepathic or feeling, okay? I'm
Mhm.
not a visual person.
That's all right.
And I've accepted that. It took me a long time to accept it.
Some people are just feel, some people just know, some people are auditory, some people are, visual.
I'm the feeling and knowing, I
Yeah.
understand it's there,
yeah.
but I can't see the damn thing, and it irritates me that I can't, but I'm not visual.
Well, just remember to include that in your pre-talk. Now, if because you're talking, say, you know, number one, I'm gonna tell you now, you're probably gonna feel like you're making it up. And I contend you've been making up real things.
I do that.
Now, I'll just leave it at that if if I'm short on time. But you may perceive, maybe you're more kinesthetically oriented, so you will feel, or you just know, or maybe you're more auditory oriented, and so it's like you're hearing an inner voice or strong thoughts, or maybe you're visual, and so you will see. And that way, you know, you're dealing with their expectations and you're shoving them back a little ways, because everybody expects to see a movie.
Yeah.
And it's simply not the way it is. So I do want them to see to the best of my ability if I can get that, but not everybody you're going to be able to get it.
Well, you know, I had kinesthetic vibrations for 7 years, and I couldn't even hug a tree without going into it. And it controlled me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it one time when I was at Monroe Institute. And for 24 hours, they were kicking me up off the mattress and slamming me against the wall. And just beat the living shit out of me for 2 days and 2 nights.
At the Monroe Institute?
Yeah, I've been there a number of times.
I know you did go
Yeah, I've
to
been there a
that.
lot of times.
Who did that to you?
Yeah,
People
the
or
kinesthetic
spirits?
vibrations did it to me. And they slammed me against the wall, and I was over the control room. And the 2 girls in the control room would say, "There he goes again, banging against the wall." They could hear me up there banging against the
So
wall.
you're talking about your past life here, or?
No, I was at the Monroe Institute.
They
They
use
use
sound
vibrations. They
and
use-
But
vibration.
you flew?
No, it picked me up and just banged me physically.
Not in the air, you weren't floating.
No, physically, just jumped me up and banged me against the wall. And it went on for 2 days and 2 nights. And at the debriefing room, I can't even talk. They're controlling me.
Man.
And then all of a sudden,
What level were they working with you at? What,
well, it was way up there somewhere. I was way out.
okay.
But remember, I'm not visual.
Yeah, but you know, it's in increments and you're level 24 or
I'm
you're,
way out, past 18 up there.
Okay, yeah.
Focus. I'm one of the higher focuses, okay? Instead of astros or whatever you want to call them. And all of a sudden, I quietened down and I cried for about an hour. And before then, I never cried in my life. You couldn't get me to cry. It was impossible. And something went all through my body called unconditional love.
yeah, yeah,
Now that's several years ago.
yeah.
I watched a sad movie today and I cried like a baby.
Oh.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
That's another time,
yeah.
with an experience. And it changed.
Changed your life, yeah.
But remember, I was an atheist and agnostic when I had a near-death experience. And that time I could vision it was dark, misty, and rainy. And that time I could see myself coming in and out of that place when I was coming in and out of the coma. What a wonderful world.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can't relate that to any other incident, you know, the vibrations being that strong, and then the crying, and then the catharsis.
Yes, you're cured. That old Don Bilo, Metichek, or however you say his name. Yeah, he cured it in 30 seconds. I went to his session, and just as he did the opening session, he turned the lights on. I said, "Anybody know anything about kinesthetic vibrations?" I just shook the bolts out of this damn chair. And he jumped up and come running over there, and about 30 seconds later, I got no vibrations.
Really?
Right. He said, all I did was, and at that time, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He said, your chakras are out there wobbling all over the place. I
Yeah.
just put them back, and you're okay.
But
And
I'm sorry, where did those vibrations come from? Did they come from a
Music.
machine in the Monroe Institute, or did they come from?
they come from inside of myself, but I don't know how to explain how they.
So you
They
weren't
started the
exposed-
first time, we did a walk, a quiet walk at a certain level, okay? And you don't talk, you don't do nothing, and that's when they started. And when I hugged a tree and said, I love you, and blah, 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 that's when the vibrations started. I had no control over them. They're totally different from the vibrations I get today. I do get the vibrations,
So it's just
but they're
something you
different.
feel in your body.
They were
That's-
using.
I had no
anything?
feeling.
Well, they're using mine electronics, you know.
I don't know, I can't express it. I know I carried them for 7 years, okay?
Jeez.
And old Don Milo took care of them, and I haven't had them since, and that's a long time ago.
And he was teaching at the Monroe Institute?
No, that was in Mexico. He had 80 people there. I finally found out what he does. He spends 5 days hypnotizing people, 1 day programming.
Gets you really, really.
And he put everybody down except about half a dozen, all of a sudden we didn't go down. And and then he couldn't program us. But he spent
Mhm.
5 days talking you to death and hypnotizing.
Yes. It's a technique
See, I didn't know that.
that people use to.
Macabre.
Beg your pardon?
Something from macabre.
I did it for 2 years in Bacardi, yeah. That's a flower of life, sleep of life, level 1, level 2. Level 2 is playing with the dolphins. I played with them last October last year. 20 in the group, 8 from Japan, 1 spoke English, and I down there went back to Japan with them.
They loved you, did they?
And on top of that, let me tell you about the dolphin. I gotta tell about this. There's 20 of us in the group, okay? The heavy of the dolphin and I speaking Spanish together. And we kind of sort of bonded together.
Yeah.
And he found out I was gonna be 85 very shortly. And he lined up 19 of them and made me stand behind him. I don't know what he's gonna do. 4 of those suckers come up and sang happy birthday. And when they got through, they slapped their fingers, their flappers, and put back down into the water. And you can tell.
Sure they did.
They did. They're smarter than I am. I got news for you. Those suckers are smart. They're intelligent. And that's where women get their underwater birthing, right there. No trauma. The last day I was there was 1 born. 20 minutes after you come out of the pond, he's swimming with the mom. She's teaching you. I said, is that a boy or a girl? The old dolphin is heavy. He said, I don't know. I can't get near it. It'll bite me.
It'll bite me.
For 3 months. So, you talk about an experience, but swimming with them dolphins is an experience, and I'm definitely afraid of water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a neat story. Neat story. All right, we're going to do something we did not do because we didn't have time last time. And so, well, let's just do it where you guys are partners, okay? You guys are partners, you guys are partners. Is that okay?
What is that?
We're gonna connect chakras. We're gonna do telepathy, and I'm going to send you some symbols. Okay? All right. You can do this.
Do you want to do my chair? You're going to
I've got to talk to you first.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to get my chair.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. I don't blame you. Okay. All right. We're going now. Telepathy is thought transference. Any form of communication from one mind to another, independent of the normal 5 senses. And through telepathy, you can tune into the thoughts, the feelings, the desires, the awareness of another person. And you can project your thoughts, your feelings, your desires to that person, if you want to. And so your success in sending and receiving telepathically is dependent upon you trusting the very first, for most people, the very first thought that comes into your mind. But it also has to do with feelings. If you're feeling like you do, Ed, then you're going to trust the first feeling that comes into your mind when you receive it from Isabel. And if you're sending, it is dependent upon developing your ability to send pictures with your mind. If you practice a little bit, you get really good. The subconscious mind is a picture consciousness, primarily a picture consciousness. So it's going to respond best to mental images. Now, we'll have you picking up from your partner impressions about them. So try trusting the very first experience. The minute you have it, trust it. But also, just to see how you do, if another gradually forming impression comes in, well, you can go with that too. You have a little bit to remember here, but not that much. So, trust the first impressions. Also try for the second, just to educate yourself as to how you do telepathy. Now, telepathy is the easiest of all the psychic sciences to develop. And I think you're going to see here this morning just how easy and effective it is. So I'm going to relax your body. I'll do the countdown exactly as we've done it before. And use your mudra when you bring your index finger and thumb together, because every time you use that, it's going to become more powerful. And then I'm going to connect the top 3 chakra centers between you and your partner. So purple, and you're going to imagine, Ada, that you're sending out a purple light, and it's arching over to Isabel. Isabel's imagining it coming to you. Now, a very real psychic bond is taking place at that point, to the degree that I have to dissolve it when the session is over. In other words, you probably don't want to be totally bonded to the other person and picking up all their thoughts and their feelings and their desires. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit, about why we aren't connecting the bottom chakras.
Why not?
But we'll talk about the benefit of that for couples with relationship problems.
Yeah, with a couple, I would definitely, if you're working with them and you are using a chakra link, definitely go ahead and connect all.
To help with relationship
Yeah.
issues, and we'll talk about that.
And sexual issues and so on with them. Yeah. Because they already have quite a bond just in lying beside each other every night. The mind has, each person is pulling until they have a similar brainwave frequency. So we'll talk about that. So now have pencil and paper. You all have pencil and paper right there.
Could I put this somewhere else because it's getting cold, or just try to, if you put us under it, it'll get worse.
I didn't realize it was on. So.
Turn it to the right, on that one there, turn it to the right. That's the left,
Oh.
turn it toward
You're right, that's the right. Oh, I hope I didn't break it.
the other way.
It may blow up now.
So you go purple and, okay.
Well, I'll be guiding it. So you purple, blue, violet, and then silvery blue with the throat chakra. Okay. Now, whatever you're picking up, Just simply trust it. No matter how silly or bizarre it may seem, note it in your mind so that you can talk to your partner about it once the session is over with. Once you are telling them what you picked up. As an example that I usually give before doing this, before conducting this session, what if you picked up, from Dina, and you get a ceramic chicken with peanuts? And I'm gonna go, oh, great. Well, that was real, that's why I'm doing it, where the woman, when she told her, well, I picked up a ceramic chicken filled with peanuts, and the woman went, oh. And she said every night of her life, she washes dishes, and she's got a beautiful backyard, and so she looks out the backyard, and here beside the sink is kind of shelves that are going up, and on the first shelf is a ceramic chicken filled with peanuts. So every night of her life, she's washing dishes, and she's nibbling those peanuts. And so it's something that is so ingrained in her mind that it was natural that she would pick it up. And that just showed that, to both of them, that she was receiving that purely by telepathic means. So, no matter what you get, yes?
Do we have to think about specific images?
Well, you're going to get them. They're just going to jump into your mind.
Even if the other person is not thinking about them?
No, they probably won't be thinking about them. Now, if he were going to sit there and he was going to project to you, but he's not going to be doing that because he's going to be open to receiving from you. And so,
We're both sending and receiving at the same time.
you're both, you are worried about what you're getting from your partner and not really about sending at this time. I just want to talk in terms, if you are sending, and when we do some remote viewing here, that might be, did we do remote viewing last time? I don't think so.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
Well, that's what this time is all about, the fun stuff as far as I'm concerned. So now I am going to focus upon some symbols that I have drawn on the paper right up here. And in other words, they're just drawn on white 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. I'm going to come to one and I will focus really intently on it. And what happens when you do that, if you close your eyes, then you're going to see, with your eyes closed, a reverse of the symbol. And so I will be sending it. I will be describing what it is as best I can in just a few words as I send it to you. And then there will come a time where I'll say, I'm now going to send the symbol as it might be perceived in the manifest world. And so maybe I'm visualizing, these symbols are all far more complicated than this, but if I were sending a square, well, I might imagine a square box, and I'd say I'm now sending it as it would be in the real world. And so you might perceive a square box. So in each case, I will send it as I would imagine it appearing in the real world. So I'll be sending each symbol. There's just 3 symbols. I'll be sending each symbol 2 different ways. Okay? All right.
Can we write at the same time or draw?
You can write or draw. You can do anything you want. Sure.
Dick?
Yeah.
I took remote viewing from the captain that was head of the remote viewing crew during the Stargate.
Yeah. Joe McMonagle.
No, Skip Atwater.
Oh, Skip Atwater. Yeah.
And the other one, I know him too.
Joe McMonagle and
He's told me 3 times, as I get out of bed early in the morning, I go to the light switch and my finger goes through it. So I gotta go back to the bed and get my body. Let's go. Okay, I took it And I think remote you dead.
Really? We gotta change that around. We'll do a session, you're gonna remote too, okay? All right. Now, that's it. Yeah, Cindy, any other questions I want to answer?
Yeah, just a little clarifying. You're going to, you're doing that with the symbols, is that while we're under hypnosis? You're doing
Yeah,
it? Because
while you're-
we're combining different things.
We're combining, you're gonna receive telepathically from Susan. You're gonna see some little things about her life that she's never bothered to tell you. Maybe some things that you have learned from her. But you are going to do a psychic reading on Susan, pure and simple. And I'm expecting everybody in here to be really psychic. Okay? You got permission to be psychic in here.
All right.
All right, and then I'm going to send you these 3 symbols. So I'll leave you about, 5, 6, 7 minutes to receive from Susan. And it isn't that you're receiving what she's sending. You are just right beside her. Your auras are all mixed up right now. And you can just draw upon this connection of the chakra centers. And you can read those, believe me.
Okay, and I am only just listening to what I'm receiving.
Mhm.
She's not trying to say, right? Now, when you do the symbols, are you connecting up
I'm
each one of
purpose-
us with chakras?
No, I'm just purposely sending as well as I can. I can just go around with this size group and I am sending that symbol.
Okay. and you're
Because I
using that
usually
back.
do this with a whole lot of people in the room, so,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I need to get my chair, so.
Okay, you can get your chair. We're all going to be terribly envious. I hope envy doesn't project out.
Do we have a moment?
Yes, yeah. Interesting. Questions, comments?
When you said Reiki, you actually, how I learned it was you link up chakras,
You do link up.
you know, from distance.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the symbols you said, I'm sorry.
That's very exciting. Chakra linking, what's ethically, should someone, is it right for, say, a teacher to come up to you as a student and just like go in and start raising your energy up? I guess, I don't know if this is the same thing, but I'm guessing, just ethically, I'm curious about somebody else coming into somebody's space like that.
Well, normally I'd be working with them as a client,
Yeah.
or I'd be working with them in a class. I would never go up to somebody
I
and
know
just
that-
go in
I know
to.
a teacher that does that, and they did it to me, I didn't realize that was what was happening. So
I think that's a little bit of a violation.
That's what I thought.
So I'd be worried about the karma. Remember, every time you act with intent, you are either creating or erasing karma. And I would think when you're doing that without permission,
What
Yeah.
I do, and what I learned Reiki-wise, is you go in the higher self and you ask their higher self permission. Now, if they're right there, I would think that you would want to ask permission, but like when you send Reiki, I have a friend who was in an accident, and I send him Reiki all the time, but I always, ask permission from his higher self. And I only had one time that I felt like, nope, not really open to it.
Oh,
And
really?
other than that,
Yeah.
it's gotta go.
yeah. And was that one time with the same client, Dina, or was, okay, it was somebody else, yeah. Yeah, and you got real strong.
Well, it just was this, it was just that feeling that I was, maybe, and then I did it later and it was fine,
Yeah. Okay.
so.
Did you talk to him in between? Okay. Of course, maybe at that moment he was really stressed about a bunch of things and it was just a way of saying,
This is not a good time.
it's not a good time. Yeah, I'll be distracted. So. All right, I'd like you to begin to breathe deep. Breathing deeply and relaxing. relaxing completely now. Breathing deeply, relaxing completely, and allowing the quietness of spirit to begin to come in. So relaxed and so at ease. So relaxed and so at ease. Quiet your mind. Take a deep breath in and hold as long as you comfortably can. And then let the breath out through slightly parted lips. And when the breath is all the way out, contract your stomach muscles and push it even further out and further out. And then repeat the process. So you're breathing deeply and you're relaxing completely and allowing that quietness of spirit to come in now. So relaxed and so at ease. So relaxed and so at ease. And now, in just a moment, I'm going to begin to relax your body one part at a time. So play the role, play the part. Feel your body relaxing as I ask you to do so. And the relaxing power is now coming into the toes of both of your feet at the same time. It's moving right on down into the ball, into your arches, into your heels, and right on up to your ankles. Completely relaxed, completely relaxed. And now feel the relaxing power moving on up your legs to your knees, relaxing all the muscles as it goes, and moving on up your legs now to your thighs, to your hips, permeating every cell and every atom, and you're relaxing completely, keeping your full attention on the sound of my voice. As you now feel the relaxing power moving on up into the fingers of both of your hands, relaxing your hands. Feel your hands relaxing. And your forearms are relaxing now, relaxing now. And your upper arms are relaxing, just completely relaxed. Now your fingers and your hands and your forearms and your upper arms, just completely relaxed. And the relaxing power now moves on down into the base of your spine. Now imagine that warmth in the base of your spine, as if a ray of sunlight were coming into the room and it were falling upon the base of your spine. It feels warm, feels good. And the warmth now, imagine the warmth moving slowly up your spine, up your spine, up your spine, and into the back of your neck, and and shoulder muscles. And the back of your neck and shoulder muscles are now loose and limp. Loose and limp. Just completely relaxed now. And the relaxing power moves on up the back of your neck and into your scalp, relaxing your scalp. And it drains down into your facial muscle, relaxing your facial muscles. Your jaw's relaxed. Allow a little space between your teeth, and your throat is relaxed, and your entire body is now relaxed all over in every way, and all tension is gone from your body and mind. All tension is gone from your body and mind. And so now, as you continue to listen to the sound of my voice, imagine a bright, white God light coming down from above. Feel it enter your crown chakra on the top of your head. And your chakras are balanced and energized. We'll go through them once again now. So imagine this God light entering your crown chakra, which is purple in color. See the purple and feel that there is an opening and a balancing and a charging going on here. And the God light continues to move on down into your brow chakra, which is blue-violet in color. So imagine the blue-violet color and perceive the balancing and the energizing. And the light moves on down into your throat chakra center. Now here you imagine the blue-violet light and the opening and the balancing and the charging. And the light moves on down into your heart chakra center, which is a golden glow. So imagine the golden glow and the opening and the balancing and the charging. And the God light continues to move on down into your solar plexus chakra, which is many shades of red and located at the level of your navel. Now imagine the reds and the opening and the balancing and the charging. And the light continues to move on down now into your sacral chakra center, which is all the shades of the rainbow. So imagine the light and perceive the opening and the balancing and the charging. And it moves on down into your root chakra center, which is many shades of orange and red. So perceive the oranges and the reds and the opening and the balancing and the charging. And your chakra centers are now open and balanced and charged. thus expanding your aura and attuning you to the subtle vibrations that enhance the perception of subjective awareness. And so now, as you continue to focus on the sound of my voice, imagine yourself beginning to go down, deeper and deeper, down. Number 7. Deeper, 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 down, down. Number 6. Deeper, 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 down. Number 5. Deeper, 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 down. Number 4. Deeper, 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 down. Number 3. Deeper, 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 down. Number 2. Deeper, 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 down. Number 1. And you're now relaxed and at ease, and you are ready to explore telepathy. So to begin, focus your concentration on the person who will be your partner in this exercise. Now capture their essence in your mind. Do this very vividly. Even imagine where they are sitting in relationship to your chair. All right, now, let's establish a psychic connection by imagining a beam of shimmering, iridescent purple light arching from your crown chakra on the top of your head, arching up, out, across, and over to the crown chakra of your partner in this exercise. Now see this in your mind. Very, very vividly create this connecting purple light with the unlimited power of your mind, and it becomes reality. Imagine a light, purple light. And the connection is now complete. And now imagine an intense, shimmering, iridescent blue-violet light emitting from your third eye brow chakra in the center of your forehead. And imagine it arching out, across, and over to the third eye of your partner. Now see this very, very vividly in your mind. An intense blue-violet light. Your third eye brow chakra to your partner's third eye eyebrow chakra. And now, let's repeat the process. The connection of your top 2 psychic centers, your top 2 chakras, is now complete. Where we now imagine a silvery blue light emitting from your throat chakra and connecting with the throat chakra of your partner. Now visualize the silvery blue light. See it in your mind. And the connection is now complete. And your top 3 chakras are now connected. And it's time to perceive powerful telepathic impressions about your partner's life. Now you begin to receive these very powerful, accurate impressions about your partner. On the count of 3, trust your thoughts, your feelings, visualizations, any auditory input. Begin to receive on the count of 3, number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's time to let go of this now. But remember everything you telepathically learned about your partner. But now, I'm going to telepathically send you 3 symbols which you will accurately receive and remember. Now I'll send them both as I see them drawn on the page before me, and I'll send them as they might appear in manifest form. Okay, I'll begin sending the first symbol on the count of 3. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Going to send the first symbol as it might be perceived in manifest form. All right. I have now completed sending the first symbol. And I will now send the second symbol exactly as I see it drawn on the paper before me. Starting now. to send the second symbol as it might be perceived in manifest form in real life. All right. I have now completed sending the second symbol. And I will now begin to send the third symbol exactly as I see it drawn on the paper before me. I'm sending now. All right. I'm now going to send the third symbol as it might appear in manifest form. I've now completed sending the third symbol. Now once again, you have been perceiving telepathic impressions, and you will remember everything you received, both telepathically about your partner and the 3 symbols that I have sent to you. And now, before you're awakened, it's time to dissolve the chakra connection between you and your partner. So beginning with the silvery blue connecting your throat chakras, imagine the light dissolving, dissolving, dissolving. And the connection is now dissolved. And now, visualize the blue-violet light connecting your third eye chakras, dissolving, dissolving, dissolving. And the connection is now dissolved. And now visualize the intense purple light connecting your crown chakras, dissolving, dissolving, dissolving. And the connection is now dissolved. And the 3 chakra connection, all 3 connections are now dissolved. And in just a moment, I'm going to wake you up, remembering everything you just learned about your partner, and remembering all 3 symbols that you have received from me during this session. All right, you're beginning to come on up now. On the count of 5, you're going to open your eyes and be wide awake, fully alert, thinking and acting with calm self-assurance, feeling glad to be alive and feeling at peace with the world, yourself, everyone in the world. Coming on up now. Coming up a little bit more, a little bit more. Feel the expanding spiritual light. Feel at peace. Number 2, you're feeling at peace with all life. Number 3, you're coming on up now, tapping into an internal balance, an internal harmony. Number 4, recall the situation in the room. And number 5, wide awake, wide awake. Open your eyes and feel good. For 5, wide awake.
Nice nap.
No, going to sleep now. Okay, first I'm going to tell you about the symbols, and then you're going to compare notes with your partner. So, now, in a Sedona seminar where I was doing this a while back, I usually have a female partner that I'll do it with. But I had an actuary in the seminar, and the actuary is used to figuring the statistics in regard to how long their clients are going to live. He worked for an insurance company. And he said very quickly, he said it would be literally impossible for anyone to receive any one of the symbols. You could not receive the symbols. I know I personally have a book that's got 4,000 symbols in it. And that just scratches the surface to the number of symbols that there are that somebody could send. So he didn't believe that anybody in the room would get one of the symbols. Now, if you got the symbols, if you got all or part of the symbol, I would say it's still a hit. And if you got them out of order, It's kind of interesting because sometimes people will get them, but they get them out of order. And I find that about 15%, now we don't have enough people here to really make this judgment, but about 15 to 20% of a room full of people will get the symbols before I've sent them. And they will get the symbols even though I may not know yet what I'm going to send. I usually have about 8 or 10 symbols in an envelope, and I pull them out of the envelope and I look at them and then I send them. So people who are getting them ahead of time are quite literally stepping out of time. And that's always amazing to me, that you step out of time and space to do something like that. Now, look at all of them beforehand. And again, if you got them out of order, or if you've got part of them, this seems to be a fairly easy symbol to send and for people to receive. If you got the circle, if you got the triangle.
Got the triangle.
That was the first symbol?
Mhm.
Oh, that was the first, I got both.
I got the.
But the triangle would be within and the circle would be without.
Without, okay, okay.
Triangle, that's all right.
Now, and that's great. Now, what I was visualizing as manifest form, the great pyramid in Egypt, I'm seeing that in my mind as best I can. And I'm watching the sun come down from above, and it goes down behind the pyramid, and then I'm still seeing the sun right through the pyramid. And I'm seeing sand, I'm seeing desert people that have the towel-like headgear, camels. So if you picked up anything like that, that's amazing.
I think of the triangle, but with the triangle had circles around it.
Well, that is a definite hit, Susan. I mean, you got it at that point. Yeah. Now, I didn't mean for this to be an Egyptian day, but the second symbol was the Ankh. And I was saying the words Ankh, eternal life, symbol of eternal life. As I viewed it, I was seeing the Ankh. And I was chanting those words. Now, when I visualized it as it might be seen in manifest form, I have been to the British Museum, and they've captured Egypt and they brought it back to England. And so I was seeing it there on many different pieces when I've actually visited the museum. I've seen it in the museum on many different pieces of architecture and stone that it's carved into. Cheyenne has a Ankh symbol, and so I'd see her wearing that around, as a piece of jewelry, wearing that around her neck. I also, in my studio at home, I have the Ankh, a brass one, hanging on the wall. And so if you picked up any of that, also this, when I close my eyes and look at the symbol, the arms tend to disappear. So if you got anything to do with a spoon, you were really picking up, because that's what I was seeing. And I don't know why the arms disappear. I guess they're just plain not bold enough. But, so that's it.
I thought that, but after the third, it was like my fourth symbol. It was after we did the third one.
So see, it was still echoing in your mind, Dean. Yeah, it got in there, and it was rattling around. Now sometimes, if you perceive this one as like with a stem, like right under this as an architectural tree. Architects will put in a bunch of trees sometimes, and they just put them in like
I
that.
saw a witch's hat, which if you...
Well, you got it then.
Yeah. Well, I
You
drew that,
definitely,
well, just the triangle with a dot, but then with the...
and it's a witch's hat.
A witch's hat.
You definitely got it. You definitely got it. Here's the third.
Oh, I
get them moving.
But it was a big
Way out
circle.
No,
Good.
one of them.
I got,
Moon and the
I
star.
got the scallop, but I didn't get, it was more like a wave.
Yeah, did you really? Then you got it, you see? The first time I ever did psychometry under control conditions was, everybody brought the object that we're going to send to each other, and I had a card. Now, I found out later it was a card, but it was wrapped up so you could hardly tell. The person had disguised it, but I saw Jesus standing by a well. You know, long white robe on, dark hair, long hair, and a well. What the card actually had on it, or that was what it actually was. What I saw was a woman wearing a white dress with her feet in the sea. So I had gotten the card, but my mind interpreted it a little bit different. I saw a woman because of long, long hair. I thought, well, it's a woman. In the long white robe, I saw as a dress. And then the water, I saw as the sea. So definitely it was a hit, but it wasn't exactly the way it was in the card. Same thing, you were receiving it as a hit. Now, I also saw this when I was sending it in manifest form. Cheyenne especially, my daughter, used to love to sit on my lap, and we'd out on the deck at night, and we'd watch the planes taking off from LAX. And always right up here was where the moon, it seemed to me, to be. And there was a star and the moon. And so basically that's what I had in mind when I drew that up. But you know, it's almost a Procter & Gamble symbol as you appear on the side of a cereal box or cornstarch or whatever, so I visualized that. Also visualized, this is funny, embarrassing, but I was wearing my underwear yesterday, had stars all over it. And when I took them off last night, I thought, you know, I'm going to think about that now when I'm sending, if I send the star. And I did.
Yes, underwear?
Yeah, it's underwear with stars all over it.
Let's see, I saw a bomb. No, just kidding.
Is that the shooting star that I got?
No, I don't think so. No, it was not.
See, that last one, I just saw the sky, but just waves of, you know.
Interesting.
Don't tell Cindy, because she might take my certificate away, because I'm supposed to be a medium, but I didn't get any of them.
Oh, didn't you really? Uh-oh.
Well, I did get things that might
What are
be
you supposed to do?
abstractly close. I got them out of order, but I got I don't know if you've seen this symbol before, I think it's a metaphysical symbol, the dragon's eye, and it's sort of like,
Yeah,
kind of using
yeah.
that. And as I was seeing it, I went, oh, that's a pyramid from the top. And then that was really the symbol, and then later I saw Mayan Temple, when you were thinking.
All right.
So that's out of order. And then when you said the Ankh, she was using the Ankh. She had it in her hand in the image earlier when we were doing the link.
Ah, okay.
And then also across, I saw fire first. The first symbol, when you said the first symbol, I saw fire.
Yeah.
Then a cross, somebody was burning on the cross, and then it turned into a heart, and yet when I drew the cross, it came out as an Ankh.
Oh,
So I don't know.
interesting.
And then it
Well,
turned into water, because remember you said something about, you
well,
were thinking of water.
well,
I
now-
wrote on water.
when I'm visualizing this, and I did flash on water a lot, because when you sit on the upstairs deck in Malibu, the living area of your house, most people who live anywhere along there is upstairs. Bedrooms are on the first floor. The living area is on the second floor, so you've got a better view of the ocean. And so the house is just a little ways above the ocean, and you hear the waves coming, and they come up through a draw. So you're hearing waves outside. It sounds like they're about 10 feet away, and they're not. They're, you know, the better part of a short block away down at the beach. So also horses in the back. We have a barn, and there's horses. So sometimes people pick that up, but very often they pick up the ocean because it's right there.
What about crocodiles?
No crocodiles. That's a petty conference house.
Simple.
So how many got something on this? You definitely got stuff, Kathleen, you definitely.
No, but you've got
First.
certificates.
So it's impossible, remember, the actuary says it'd be impossible for anybody to get any of the symbols. So, all of you, got it?
I learned something on this one. I try to speed everything up when I'm in the altered state. In
Yeah?
other words, you say this and I'm gonna go there real fast
Mhm.
and do it, and get the hell out of there,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
Now, how do you slow that down? I mean, I'm just curious, is there,
I don't know, actually, I don't know, you know? You are, that's a natural way that you are receiving, and yet you got symbols, so you
yeah,
did
the
good.
first one's pretty clear.
Yeah.
The next one was a circle, that's all I got.
Yeah, yeah.
And the next was either a box or a cross-like thing. So
Yeah, well, often I send a cross, an equal-limbed cross, very often I send that.
Yeah, well, I got that, and.
Well, let's see how you did with, your partner. You guys, I'm gonna give you about, 7 minutes each. So you compare, and then we'll see how you did.
I need 30 seconds.
Actually, it's lunchtime, Dick.
30 seconds.
So wait, you saw it took 30 seconds. Wait, you saw it took 30 seconds.
Yeah, you won't be first, you won't be
You go back and you're there.
first.
I don't know why I saw this, because maybe it was from what really said, but I saw a chicken that was white. Let me know if
I
it was.
went in some type of-
Then I saw a